Hello.
Hey,
Oh,
Toy Talk. It's delayed. Josh, take us away.
hey everyone. We're back with another episode of Toy Talk. And as always, we have that way. This guy, right?
What's up?
Clue.
Right here.
And we have Danny at the bottom there.
Hello, everyone.
And I got it right. And then we got 88 Figs join us tonight.
Mm-hmm.
We've replaced Toy Father with 88 Figs. I don't think we'll notice any difference.
We have the same voice.
Right.
Absolutely.
We'll just cut video and you'll just think it's Chris. Right?
How you guys doing? How's the weekends?
Good. Went and seen Mario.
So, yeah?
Yeah.
How was that?
It was good. I liked it. I thought it was fun, and there wasn't anything crazy about it. It was just a good movie.
Nice. I want to check that out.
Is it up there with Sonic, or is Sonic still?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean,
Okay.
I guess I would put Sonic in its own since it's kind of a mix with live action.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just as good as Sonic.
Okay.
If not better. I mean,
Sidebar question though: have you guys ever seen the Chip and Dale live action thing that they did?
yeah.
How ugly Sonic was at the conventions? That was
ugly
so funny to
Sonic,
me.
The
yeah.
original Sonic.
Yeah, dude, that was so funny to me.
That was creative too. That they did that, right? They
Yeah.
scrapped that look and then put it in the movie and made fun of it. Like they didn't take themselves seriously. I think that was genius.
Exactly. Super genius.
It was nice that no one got sued over that.
Right.
The one time everyone gets along.
Yeah, right.
Well, they were like, "We'll give you money for that crappy Sonic design you had."
They're like, yes, please. Yes.
And they're like,
please.
"Okay."
And we should say hi to the folks in the chat. So
Yes.
up first, we got Machi Toy. What's going on?
What?
Going on, Machu?
We got our friend Sequential Plastic. How's it going?
What's going on, dude?
Yes, you might be last. We got the great Clintastic 4.
Clint the Great.
We got Collector Sector. Wait, that's Gucci Mama, right?
Yes.
What's going on?
Collector Sector.
And we got Unworthy Collector in the house. What's going on, man? We got Across the Toy Multiverse. What's going on?
All the regulars. The only one I'm not seeing is Darth Gutierrez.
And not a bird. Not birds are normally in one of these ones.
Yeah.
What's up, Mary Fox? Thank you for joining us this evening.
Nice.
All right. Sorry for the delays. Every time I click the button, it takes like 3 seconds for the screen to update. All right. So yeah, Toy Father's not here tonight. He had a work engagement that he had to attend, or maybe it's a no-show. I don't know.
I think it's a no-show.
I think so too. But thank you, 88, for joining us.
Of course.
We have a great guest in line for tonight. Goes by the username Jedi Jack 2019. I knew him more as a toy photographer, but apparently, as his name, became more familiar to me, a lot of diorama work, and then more recently cosplay. All very interesting things. Let's bring him out.
Do you have a separate channel for the cosplay?
Actually, that's a good question. I actually think he has a separate channel for his diorama work too. I actually should have put that in.
I found the diorama stuff.
Yeah, I should put that in the bio.
I didn't see
Well, he's behind the scenes, so we just bring him out and ask him.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, let's add him. Welcome, Jedi Jack 2019.
Yo.
Hey guys, pleasure. A really, really big pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. Big honor to be here. So get recognized by the you big hitters out there. So.
Yeah, right.
Oh, stop.
That's very kind of you. I mean, yeah, 88's here, so yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, Toy Addict is here. So
Yeah, both
This
of
guy.
these guys.
This guy's the guy right here. This is the guy.
I don't know. One of us actually has published photography in magazines and
with
for a
no
toy
credit.
line.
No credit.
Oh,
No credit.
Actually, I don't know. I don't have one in hand yet. It's in the pile of loot.
but still counts, and that's the mark of a real artist, that
Yes.
the work gets recognized and you get no credit.
Thank you guys. Well,
Mhm.
it's true. Well, it's all because of you guys.
There you go.
Would be nothing without the group chat. So
Yeah. For those unaware, 88 did the photography for Almighty Legends that
Yep.
recently met their goal at the final couple hours.
Yeah, it was a close one.
Really close.
I'm so glad they made it with all the bullshit that Dacre had to go through with some of the toy community on these figures. So that's a story for another time.
I didn't realize. I just knew them from 88's photos when Dacre, the toy maker, guest on this show, and the fact that I backed one of his figures.
yeah.
I think we've had him on twice over on Arts. Yeah.
On
Standing
Unbox and Art. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh, we glazed right past the plugs.
Well,
so it's
there's
clearly
mine.
8:30.
Unboxing
People-
Art.
Yep. Yeah, at 7:30. Do you have a guest lines up?
Not this week. Next week we're gonna have Zach Oat
Oh, nice.
from Diamond Select Toys is gonna be on again. He's a big friend of this channel and Art's channel. So yeah,
Great guy too. He
Zach's awesome.
I can't believe he was part of Toy Fair back in the day. I remember that magazine. Yeah, so that's on Wednesday at 7:30. At 8:45, you'll catch me and Toy Father and Yimbo Reviews Everything doing the TPC Top 10 as voted by the toy community. I don't
And
think
they have
there's-
one early in the morning on Sunday too, don't you?
Yeah, we normally have a toy intel on Saturday mornings, but it's infrequent and I can't do it this Saturday, so I'm not going to plug it.
Oh.
But they might do it. So yeah, 11 o'clock ish on Saturday, maybe. And I think Yimbo's going live every day at
Yeah.
noon.
He said something about doing it every day.
Yeah, he's living right now.
He's on vacation.
He's
Hell
on
He has a whole week off.
This
Hell
is
yeah.
vacation Yimbo. He's just talking about toys all week.
Mhm.
I think those are all the plugs. Hey, you got anything to plug? Is Toy Things happening? You have something lined up?
Yes, I am still backlogged about 3 interviews, which I won't say who the guests are, but
Okay.
eventually I will soon ASAP edit those and put those out.
Excellent. So yeah, people check that out as well. Josh, you want to kick us off with the icebreaker question?
Oh yeah. Well, hold on, Jedi. Do you have anything you want to plug before we move on?
Oh yeah, true. Sorry.
Yeah, I could, a real quick one. Anybody in Southern Florida? I'll be at the HeroCon first weekend of May. We'll be there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll have booths set up with dios and all that stuff and photos, and you can come out and hang out. And it's supposed to be a good one. I was just at Orlando MegaCon last week, and that was awesome. Of course, this one's not going to be as big, not to mention not going to have the lineup of celebs that they did in Orlando, but it should still be a fun time. So anybody in the area, man, come out, hang out, say hi.
Nice.
Do it. All right. So icebreaker question: 112 cars. Do you need them? Do you want them? Or no way? Go away.
I'd say yeah. I mean, but it's got to be decently priced.
That's
I'm not giving you $300 for a plastic car, that with some lights on it. I mean, you give me enough time and foam, man, I can make one. I don't know, man. I'd really like to have some cool ones, but it's hard to justify that cost. I was kind of excited at first for the Ghost Rider car, and then that we all see where that went.
Right.
I was like, nah, I'm not paying that much. And then there's been a couple other companies. It's hard to unknown people. It's really hard to back them, and I feel it's kind of unfair sometimes because some of them may be real legit trying to get something done, but it's real hard to just fork over dollars that you may never see again. And
yeah,
I mean, somebody, I would think by now somebody would step up and, just make a couple of things and don't come out with just one. Like, present 3 vehicles, present like a car, a truck, or a van, and like a motorcycle, like all at once. That should be your wave 1.
Yeah.
Then everybody be like, oh, all right, well, if I can get all 3 for $300, maybe I'll do that,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, they could really do good if they want to charge $350, that's fine. But like, send it with like a bunch of pieces where you can change the car to a truck, to a van, to
exactly,
like
yeah.
that, then it's just pieces. I think they can do it cheaper. I don't know.
Right.
I don't work there. I have no clue.
Or if they do something similar to how RC cars, right? You build the wheels with the seats already in there, and then you just sell the different bodies that you just
exactly. Yeah, if you could have a chassis with wheels, just a rolling chassis, and then have a different bodies just snap right on top.
Yep.
That shouldn't be too hard. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep using like 1/18 scale stuff and
finesse it.
Yeah.
I use that Playmobil DeLorean. I haven't used it a lot, but I've used it a couple times to try to kind of get that perspective, and it looks fine.
It's solid. The Ghostbuster Ecto-1 Playmobil works really well. I think they did a great job on that one.
Mm-hmm.
So you could fudge it.
So Danny, you being mostly horror, do you give a shit about any of these cars that are coming out?
Actually, like I always said I wanted a NECA the 2 remake or the DeLorean. I think the DeLorean for the Back to the Future line was a big letdown for me. I think like
a white van with blacked out windows.
Yeah, like something. No, well, no, no. Honestly, like if I wanted any car related, I want a Christine car, a 112 Christine car. That'd be dope.
I seen one at Target the other day, and it made me think of you because it was like the scorched one where it had been burned. But it was, it's like 124 scale or whatever. But.
Yeah, I have the red one. Before. Yeah, I have those, but like a 112 would be dope. But like again, I think as far as cars, I'm not really big into like vehicles or anything like that. But if I wanted one, it would probably be the DeLorean with like light features and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying?
You don't want that car the nurse was driving in Halloween? You don't want that?
right now. Well, you know what I mean? If you look at all the horror movies, you have the Christine car, right?
And
what other vehicle? Car. Yeah, you can have Ash's car. You know what I mean? These are like regular vehicles. They're not like maybe the Freddy Krueger car. Remember at the end of the first Nightmare on Elm Street? Maybe that car. But other than that, I mean, yeah. I think if it's not Batmobile, DeLorean, or Kit from Knight Rider, I don't want no parts. Or even the Ecto-1, I don't want no parts of them. Or even the 18 van. That would be
cool. Yeah.
18 van would be pretty sweet.
I could see NECA doing the DeLorean again just because they've already done all the figures, all these new figures. So, I mean, the only thing that's missing is a DeLorean and a train.
Or they heard me complain.
Yeah, maybe.
we want them to keep buying our toys, so let's make a DeLorean for them.
The Back to the Future one would be really interesting. If they, even the Playmobil, they sold accessory kits, so you could change. Initially, you could change it from part 1 and part 2, and then a year later they came out with like a little piece, like I think it's part of the Advent calendar actually, where it came out pieces to build it out to be part 3, the Old West with the wheels and the stuff across the hoods. Even would you pay $300 for it though? I think it'd be worth it.
If it had light features and all that stuff,
you could swap out all the stuff.
I'm very impulsive. Like when I see something, I know. I mean, even if I know the price is crazy, if I really want it, I'm gonna spend the money for it, and I don't care. I really wanted the Ghost Rider car. Honestly, I really wanted it.
Plus, if it's NECA too, you're gonna get quality.
Oh yeah.
I mean, don't roll it without heating up the wheels. But
no, of course not. But it would be exciting to have a new DeLorean or something else. I don't know. NECA's good at just like venturing out and doing just a bunch of stuff. They throw curveballs. Like I didn't ever expect an Elton John figure with a piano. Like curveball. That's cool.
That's dope.
Yes,
that's the Playmobil one.
Yeah.
So cool, man. So I've seen those, but I just pass on it because it like looks cartoony, but it looks good.
It looks really.
It's cool to have on the shelf,
Yeah.
It's got real rubber tires. I mean, it lights up. The flux capacitor lights up inside.
Wow, that's so cool, man. Now imagine that at 112.
Both doors.
I know. Does
And
that
if you want, you can
does it
record
come-
Josh making all the noises. Be like, vroom, vroom.
Does it come pre-built, or do you have to put it together?
No, you get to put like most of it together. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
like
it's
that
all
was
in
fun. I like
pieces.
doing that. And plus, like the hook, like, you get the hook.
Yeah, with the
Not anymore.
broken. Go back on Amazon, get another. For the advent calendar for that one, it actually came with a paper background of the clock tower, and then street poles and a wire. So you can build it out a little bit. I thought it was
That'd
fun.
be cool.
Yeah, with the ramen racer, I kind of want it, but yeah, I'm not really willing to
Dude,
put
honestly,
the cash down for that.
If you wait to get it on Big Bad, you get it for cheaper than ordering it now with the $120 shipping.
True.
Yeah,
that's true.
So
I was all for it. I was like 175. All right, cool. 120.
Yeah.
Well, my problem is like on the list of the shipping stuff, like that one, they gave you like info. It said like FedEx, UPS, DHL, or whatever, and the other one's just like 50 for local delivery. Right. Like, what does that mean? Like, you're bringing it by mule, or like?
Well, is he in Canada or
Uber?
I don't know where he's at.
Yeah, I would assume if the prices are that high, because the way he has it built out is like it's in pieces. So I'd imagine it'd be easier to ship if it's in pieces. But maybe he's in Canada or somewhere else.
Yeah, who knows?
I think what it is that specific car model. What is it, like the Charger or whatever? Maybe that's just cursed, and we just need the one person to put it out, and then all these like 112 cars will just be available. You know?
Yeah.
Or no one touch a Charger for like 10 years, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Machu
just commented ramen is in Singapore, so that makes total sense.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that the shipping is not right or that it's wrong. It's just a lot. It just is.
Yeah.
So
my characters don't drive cars, so I don't care.
But in the end, it makes it almost the same price as the Hell Charger with no figures.
Right. But
right.
That's the thing. It is a cool design.
You gotta weigh your thing. And my whole thing is, if you buy the ramen racer and pay the $120 shipping, you have to quit talking about the Hell Charger. You just have to.
Yeah.
I don't want to keep going. What's a ramen racer? Is that like soup? What are we talking about? I don't know what.
You haven't seen it?
Oh, it's the car.
It's by Ramen Toys.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a company. Or
it's the Charger that's going around last couple of days.
They're like passing the same mold around.
Yeah. Like, remember, like when we used to go to the store and the figure or the vehicle were on the shelf and it had a fucking price on it, and that's just the price. Now people see the price and go, "Well, why is it the price? I don't like what they made the price. It's the price. It's always been the fucking price. It's always gonna be the price. Doesn't matter. Either you want it or you don't."
But don't kill nobody else's vibe neither. It's like if somebody else wants it, don't make somebody else not. Like that's one of the things, and I don't want to dwell into it, but that's one of the things about the Charger, the Ghost Rider car. I really wanted the car. I really wanted it. And it was just, again, it was a lot of backlash about it. And I respect people's opinions. I had no issues. But you weren't going to kill my vibes. I was going to be online. If I got it, I was going to be taking photos of it.
Right.
Doing these videos with it. I think it was going to be everywhere. But it sucks that it didn't go through. So, oh well.
Yeah. With the ramen racer, there's no minimum. So 500 of them were ordered. So at least there are currently 500 customers that, I have a lot of faith that, that they'll get it. So there'll be 500 of those cars out there in the wild at some point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, again, in the comments, Machu said that the $50 shipping option will just take longer. So the 120 is for DHL, and DHL like never sleeps. So,
dude, DHL is when I order my stuff from Japan.
It's there. It's already there.
They don't update their tracking at all. It just says, "Hey, DHL."
Yeah.
And then they're knocking on the damn door.
Yeah. They're crazy with it. But never let down by DHL.
No. So Jedi, do you own any 112 vehicles?
No. I would. I mean, like I said, if it was cool, like I said, I was same with me. I was all about the Hell Charger, and was like, all right, well, I mean, if we're getting figures, yeah, it's a little more, but whatever. I understand production costs and like how to, making new molds for stuff. And even though they're using some things, but yeah, I didn't like all the hate either. Like just because somebody else wanted it, why you got to bother them about it? Like people buy stuff I don't care for all the time, but I don't care. They let them get what you want.
Yeah, I had people private message me about my opinion on buying it. I was like, no,
that's weird.
I ordered it.
I was actually gonna give away the figures. Like I wanted just the car. Like I forgot who I told that if I got the car and the figures came in, I would give the figures away and keep the car. But they were like, wait, why would you spend all that money? I'm like, because I really don't care. I really want the car. Then I went to New York Comic-Con and actually saw it, and I'm like, yeah, I really want it. So I don't know. It sucks that we didn't get it. So
yeah.
Right. Like I was telling No Chewing and them this morning, with all this hype and then McFarlane making a Batmobile that sells out in an hour, you can bet your ass that Hasbro is going to release something. They're going to make something. Oh, yeah. They can't do the Charger because then they look like dipshits. But
they probably will.
It'll be something.
They're going to release it again. It's like, here, guys, let's try it. Try it twice. Take two, guys.
They already got the prototype. I mean, it'd be very easy for them to be like, well,
Hasbro, if you're watching this, I'll take one. Me and Jedi Jack, we'll all take one.
Yeah, I still
all right now.
buy it.
Macho, you get one too.
I think I've been waiting for Valaverse too to put out more info on the car they're working on.
See, the Valaverse
they got like an SUV.
The Valaverse one worries me because it's going to be cool, but he's putting a lot into it.
Yeah,
and with as much as he talked about the Hell Charger with the guys over 3 POA, if it's not under 350,
exactly,
it's going to be a shit show.
Yeah, exactly.
$349.99.
We would have not done all that because then we could have got the Valaverse truck without having to.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, with that said, 88, do you have the Batmobile next to you? You want to show it
off? Yeah.
We'll get all this car stuff out of the way, and then we'll move on to talking about
poor Jedi Jack. He's just like, what the heck, man?
Wrong guy.
We'll save this car, and then we'll save the best for last. Jedi Jack is last. We'll keep the best. There you go.
Here it is.
Did that swap over, or is it still Josh?
What? No, it's good.
Oh,
I just solo laid him.
That's cool, man.
And then there's a bat symbol on the bottom too.
Oh, nice.
Would you say it's worth $60?
Oh yeah.
I would pay 60. I would pay 80 for that.
So I mean, just like quick rundown. The details are there. It's all black with some dark gray. The canopy I'm not a big fan of because it is like, or is that the canopy? Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
It's like a dark gray. They could have made it match, but whatever.
I wonder if it's like that in the new movie.
Right.
I wonder if it's like that in the old movie. We just didn't know.
Right. But yeah, no, I think it's worth 60. I'd be much happier if I got it on clearance, obviously. But just for the sheer fact that it's like the closest thing you're gonna get to a 112.89 Batman car right now. Yeah, $60. I'll take it.
And from your photo, if you guys go over to 88 Figs' Instagram, he's got a bunch of photos up, and it looks like it fits 1/12 better than it does the McFarlane figures. So.
Yeah, we were discussing that earlier. I'm kind of guessing that it's almost similar to like the old retro Batman fitting in the boat and stuff. It's just like shy of.
It looks so dope though, man.
Yeah, it's
the
dope.
bottom and the wheels remind me of the Batmobile I had as a child. The DC Superheroes line. The way it's just like, kind of like, this is the bottom of the car. It's molded kind of like a car would.
Is that the price for it though? 60? It's not 80.
You know this person?
Yeah. She's been hollering, man.
That's my girlfriend and partner. She's the well, I'll talk about her more in a bit when we
as soon as you popped up, she was like, yo, Jedi Jack's banging.
Hey, so we should do like a
I was gonna say we can auction you off.
Yeah.
Let's fundraise it.
Anything for the community, you know.
You are the Bruce Wayne of the community.
You're gonna have to go on a date with Danny though.
That'd be a fun time.
We'll just talk about dials all day. That'll be a great day.
Yo, don't underplay, Danny. That'd be a fun day.
Yeah,
Go
yeah,
toy
you
hunting
know,
in the morning. Go for a nice lunch. Walk
Shoot
on the
some
beach.
pictures, play
You
with
know?
toys.
right? There you go.
So, Jack,
I can
what we
see like
normally
the
like to
little video, it's like the fancy music, and they're like running through the park with action figures, like the Dio piece.
Look. You're a
you get
beast, baby.
you get a 1/6 one that just like holding each of its hands. Jack, what we normally ask is, the thing that brings us all together. Even this group that that's normally on the show, what brings us all together is our love for toys. So, with that said, what is your origin story?
Origin story. Well, when you're old like me, it started with I had the first wave one of Kenner Star Wars when the first action figures came out, and it started there, man. I had the whole thing. Lightsabers came out of the arm with a little push pin, and started there. And I had stuff, growing up, I had so many GI Joes, it wasn't funny, and Star Wars, and of course back then when I was young, like Marvel stuff. Even though Marvel was popular, they didn't make any cool toys. Like I remember I had the doll Spider-Man with like the cloth costume, and it would button up and stuff, and that was cool. Except it would fall off, and then poor Spider-Man's just a naked guy running around with a mask on. And then later on in the mid '80s when the Secret Wars came out, and of course they finally made the Secret Wars figures. I had those, and time went on, and I'd collect things now and then. And I had the first Spawn when McFarlane first started up his company, and I was all excited because it looked so cool. And, I've been collecting McFarlane's work in comics, since he started with Marvel and everything. And I got that first Spawn figure, and I'm like, this thing doesn't move. It's a freaking statue. I was so disappointed. I was like, it was so sculpted, so cool. And I was like, you can't do anything with it. Like it does nothing.
Yeah, he's only added like 3 more points of articulation since.
Yeah, but I made it look cool, and I kind of, fell away from things, life got in the way and busy, and, I picked some things up here and there and didn't kind of really touch anything for a long time. And then I went to like a couple of years ago, I went to do some kind of just redecorating and remodeling. And I was like, man, I should find me some cool collectibles. There's got to be some cool stuff out. And I started looking for things, and I started seeing all these cool pictures. And I was like, I don't remember that from the movie or the show. Or I was like, where the hell is that? And then, it's like, no, it's toy photography. And I'm like, that's a thing. And then, so like everybody else, I bought a couple figures, and 2 turned to 4, and 4 turned to 20, and 20 turned to whatever. And, I started taking some photos, and I was like, man, this is kind of fun, and I didn't, again, just like everybody else, I didn't know anything about photography. I was just taking pictures of toys and wasn't bothering anybody, and happy to be in my own little world, and, de-stress doing it. And, just started having so much fun doing it. And I was posting pictures mainly for my own benefit, just so I had somewhere to keep them. And then like the Dio thing just bled off from there. It was like, I needed some Dios, and I was like, well, I can try making them. So I started making some, and then people started going, hey, can you make me this? And I'm like, okay, and then that just took off from there. And then we started going to Comic-Cons with the thing, and I was like, well, maybe we should make some costumes. So then the cosplay thing started. So that's it. I mean, it just all kind of just ran in together, just like everybody else. And and here I am, hanging out with you cool guys.
That's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
That's awesome.
You're going to show us your Thor hammer.
Yeah. She deserves a lot of credit. Yeah, that's true about the Savage Crucible, but I got to shout out to the girlfriend, man. She does half of the work on the dioramas. So I can't take all the credit for it. There's a lot of painting that she does, a lot of the graffiti work, a lot of the carving. we work hand in hand together. Like we pretty much set up an assembly line. Like I'll work on one part of one and hand it off to her, and I'll start on another piece and she does it. And then the same thing with the cosplay stuff. Like she does some stuff, I make some stuff, and then we just kind of work together.
That's awesome.
And I keep trying to get her to do the photography things because she actually went to, went to school on a photography scholarship.
What?
And and she'll take random photos of like a bird, at Walmart. She's going to make fun of me for this, but like she sees like some little bird on a ledge at Walmart, and it's like the most perfect National Geographic photo you can think of. It's like bright colors and perfect lighting and stuff. And she's like, "Oh, look at this photo of this bird." I'm like, "Why don't you take more stuff? You're so good."
That's awesome.
That's cool. Funny. I just got my wife to make me a dio, and she's pretty good at it. Better than me. She's got more patience, I think, is what it is. I get in a rush. I'm like, I don't want to get it done, so I want to play with it.
Yeah.
They make love to the to the creations where we're just like, get in there.
Not touching that 88.
Yeah, she thinks you're very impressive.
Yeah. Well, I'm a very lucky man, so I can't wait.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's the Mike Hex. Yeah, the Savage Crucible. That was. I had no idea I'd win second. With that, so that was pretty cool. We're pretty happy with that, and I definitely look forward. I hope they do another one. I want to make something else for them because it was fun to be really creative. Just kind of come up with something on my own to make.
Yeah.
And it was fun, and it's still sitting over here. It's too freaking big to move, but it does break down pretty small. But yeah. And when are you gonna hit me up? When do I get to do that horror diode?
We're gonna talk about that as soon as the show's over. Trust me.
All right.
Yeah, okay, you're gonna pull it up. Okay, cool. Yeah, this temple
is that Sharon?
Is crazy.
Yeah, that thing was.
Yeah, it's sharing. Chew.
Oh,
yeah, you're perfect.
Good. It's late on my end. There's a good clean photo of it.
Those are so cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, same one. I was just trying for like a little Frazetta style kind of thing. And
is it all on this one? This video?
Yeah, it might be all on that one, maybe.
Oh yeah, because I'm on the other one where it's got all the dio stuff.
Yeah, on the JJE toys, it might have more of the photos.
Yeah.
Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's
cool. I need that for my Indiana Jones figure I just ordered.
That's like next level stuff right there, man.
Yeah, so the sculpting of like the snake head and the snakes wrapped around. That's my girlfriend did all that.
Damn. Oh, wow.
Basically, most of the time, like I'll do the design and like basic work, and then she helps with like a lot of the extra detail and stuff like that.
This is all just the insulation.
Insulation. There's insulation foam. There's some of the cosplay foam. Some of the moldable cosplay foam where it comes out. It's kind of like silly putty, and then once it dries, it's nice and light.
How'd you get the bubble on the
That was actually just pure. It wasn't supposed to do that, and it came out, and I was like, "Yeah, it actually looks pretty cool." So
solid.
Yeah, the base, the groundwork is tile grout, and
really?
So it's pretty durable, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, and kind of anxious to do another one.
Wow.
Do you have an idea for your next one? Not that you need to reveal it.
I got like some little things I'm working on. I got like one little. Let me see. I got this thing, Andy. I'll show you one piece.
It's like that you guys added moss and everything too. It's like lived in.
So it's gonna be kind of hard to see, and it's just very beginning stages, and was that was a custom Daredevil I did. That was the first time I did like a custom figure.
So
happy how it came out.
We'll just pause here. So the question here would be, how?
And how much?
That was I can't remember whose legs I used. They were like the same like cargo pant, Marvel Legend legs, like on a bunch of figures. And then the top was the Quicksilver, the MCU Quicksilver.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
And then I used kite string. I just wrapped around the with some glue, and I kind of like soaked the string in glue and just kind of wrapped it around. And then once it dried, it kind of hardened up. And then I got the head sculpt from my action figure lab, I think. Wow. And then I painted that up. I was actually happy. That was the first time I like painted like a face, even though it was only half a face. It was still trying to get it to look decent. I was pretty happy.
You got the really skin good. Tone really good.
Yeah, it was like tough doing the like trying to get his like stubble, without it being like overbearing, because like sometimes you see it and people would do like the dots and it just looks kind of bad. And I watch a lot of guys that do like the painting of the miniatures, like the gaming miniatures, because like if you can paint that detail that small, like on the bigger stuff, it's almost a little bit easier. So like I seen one guy and he's like, oh, when you want to do like get a good stubble look on a face, he's like, use watered down dark blue. Don't use black, don't use brown, don't use gray, use a blue. And you just use it very, very thin, super watered down, and just very lightly, and then build it up to the heaviness you want. And I'm like, this ain't gonna work. Putting blue on the face is gonna look stupid. And I did it, and I was like, oh, that's pretty awesome. So yeah,
looks cool, man.
And how long do you think?
Crazy.
Yeah, the miniatures. Some of those guys are amazing.
So, did you take art by any chance? Like, did you like that's gonna be one of my questions. Like, do you have like an artistic background, like before you did dials and everything? Did you like take up art in school or?
Yeah, in high school, I was like, that was like my thing, like I definitely, my whole, dream was to like graduate high school in the 90s and like draw Spider-Man. That was like, that was life goal, and, luckily through high school, like I had a super cool art teacher who like pushed me into doing different stuff. Cause all I wanted to do was like draw and ink, it was like all I wanted to do. And he's like, no, you need to try different stuff. And I was like, I don't want to. And he's like, do it. He's like, you'll thank me. And like, he got me, trying like oil paints and watercolors and all this other stuff. And like, I found out, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And I, was experimenting. And then I didn't touch anything for forever. Like I was a musician for a long time and I did that kind of stuff. And, but doing anything outside of that, I just never had the opportunity. It was this life gets in the way, and so like it was so fun. Like I said, when I started taking the photos to like do something artistic again, felt so good. I was having a blast doing it, and still am, and it gets better all the time. And I love doing music. But that got, I'm old, man. We used to like record home music and stuff. I used to like reel to reels and and stuff like that, and trying to like relearn how to record off of laptops and digital recording. That's just like such a huge learning curve. That it took all the fun out of like me wanting to do stuff and write songs and stuff.
There's still time, man.
Yeah, there's always time, but I don't know. I'm having too much fun doing this right now.
Hey,
so
yeah, exactly. There's just something about that, like the idea that goes from your head to like it manifesting, whether that being through toy photography or Dio or creating a song. Like once it's done, you're like, it's mine. I love it. Like there's like no like feeling word to describe it, but
yeah, and it doesn't matter if anybody else likes it or not. If somebody does like it, awesome, even better. But if nobody likes it, I don't care. I like it, you know,
Right.
and I had fun doing it. And, you know, most of the time it's like the process, you know, like,
Right.
like I've been a long time. You know, I did martial arts for most of my life and stuff. And I would love to go back and like start at the beginning again, because it wasn't about like the end goal. It was like going through the process is what
The journey
is so fun. You know, it's the journey. It's not the destination.
There you go.
You know, and
message.
Yeah.
It's not about me today, okay? We're talking about Jedi Jack. It's not about me.
So you guys were asking about what I'm working. So
that's cool.
It looks like nothing right now. It's gonna be sort of like a thinking like almost like kind of like a pirate cave kind of thing. Like the sides are probably gonna I'm probably gonna have the sides be able to kind of funnel in, but be loose so you can put it back behind the cave too, so it can make the cave kind of longer, you know. And it's just
if you made like Disney themed rides, Dios, dude,
you probably can.
Just saying.
It's like I've done
we're gonna have to talk.
already.
You can't call them Disney rides.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we'll call them something else. It'll be like Pirates of
Jamaica
or something, you know. Like,
yeah.
Rides.
But no, because in our dining table, I've been like building obviously a miniature like Disneyland themed thing for my girl, you know, because she loves Disney. But like, if you like did like the entrance like Pirates of the Caribbean or like
pretty cool,
a haunted mansion looking like, oh man, I'm sure people would. I'd invest in that. I'd pay for that.
That'd be really good. Yeah.
But yeah, call it something else.
Yeah. People hit me up with some awesome ideas all the time, and like sometimes it's just even hard trying to find the time. Like I have zero dials for myself.
Totally.
So every time like I take photos with one, it's usually when I'm finishing up for somebody. So I take a bunch of photos with it, so I got to use it before it goes out the door. You know, I'm like, oh man, I wish I could have kept that one longer. You know, like I got somebody that like mentioned like doing the Fogwell's gym from Daredevil, you know, with the boxing ring and a good heavy bag. I'm like, oh, great idea. And then somebody else, what was it? Somebody hit me with a really good idea. I just thought was just spectacular. I'm like, man, that sounds so cool. And it sounds like it's going to just take me forever to do. But, you know, I love the challenge ones for sure, you know, because most of the time, like probably the dial I get ordered from is most of the time is the building face with the fire escape. I build those more than anything. I'm doing one right now.
People love their bricks and
you know, you know, and it's good because it's like it's a perfect piece. You can throw it way in the background, you throw it close in the background, you can put figures on it. You know,
I've been thinking about having somebody just make me dials, but I just need bases. I don't need like buildings, just base, because I like to do a lot of like Digirama stuff. So if you have stuff in the foreground, it really complements the background that's on the screen. So and those would be super simple to make, I would think. You know, if you're not erecting a building.
Yeah, and it is, and it's just like it's just a different way to like approach it, you know. And it's like I always tell people, I'm like, tell me what ideas you have. I'll try to make it for you, and you know, give me some direction. I might take some, you know, artistic liberties with it, you know, but I'm going to do it if I was like making it for myself.
Anytime I buy a dial from anybody, they're like, well, do you like this? I'm like, bro, you're the artist. I'm just paying you to create me some art. You know?
Just give me it.
I told you I want a dojo. I don't give a shit what kind of dojo it is.
I think
you're the artist, not me.
I also think if you put too much, like I feel this way. I don't know if you feel that way, Jedi Jack, but sometimes I feel like if you put too much pressure on the artist, you won't get the results you want. If you basically, like Josh said, if you just say, hey, listen, you have creative control, go crazy. Like, I know you're going to do, because you know what I'm saying? So I've had experiences like that where I'm like, I want something, but I'm like, let him do what he got to do. So, and every time I've gotten the dials, they've been like amazing. So, you know, I agree.
Yeah. Usually what I do with people, I tell them like, all right, what's your idea? And like, you know, I have them talk me through it. And then I draw up something and go, is this what you have in mind? You know, and if they say, well, can we go a little bit more like this? Sure. I'll make some changes. And if they're like, no, it looks good. And it's usually like a rough, like basic size, basic kind of layout, and then I'm like, it's not going to look like this when it's done, give me time to like get it painted and the whole thing. And then I always tell people, like, when it's done, if you're not happy with it, you don't have to buy it. Because if you're not happy with it,
that shit.
I'm going to keep it and I'm going to use it. So I finally get a dial for myself. The problem is I get them done and everybody's like, no, I want it. And I'm like, well, shit, I don't have anything to shoot with. So
I'll order a few and then tell you I don't want that shit.
That's a good problem to have, Jedi.
No, it is.
It's a really good problem to have, like that you don't have any dios sitting,
right. I'm not complaining. It's just more like, man, making these cool ones for everybody else to have.
Yeah, totally. Maybe just start sabotaging your own work.
So how long does it take you to make one usually?
Honestly, it depends. If I have the time, just because my work schedule sometimes fluctuates, and it may be I get to work on it like one day a week. I mean, it takes a lot longer. But if I got the time, between me and my girlfriend, we've gotten so fast at some of the things like brickwork. Most of that stuff, like we can knock out pretty fast.
Yeah.
And like we'll get like the basic stuff, like the basic carving and all that pretty laid out pretty quick. And then it's usually me taking the time with the painting. Like I'll look at it, I'll do a color and go, okay, do I want to do a different coat, or I want to, change a color here, put a different kind of highlight on it. A lot of times it's me looking at it as it is more than anything. And I hate to say, like, I can't even give like a basic timeline, because some things will I'll knock out like super quick, like they just flow right out. And other ones you just like painstakingly, they're like pulling teeth, it's just like, man, I just, this isn't working right. And, you do a couple things and you almost have to like start back over and go, and then it finally, starts coming together. Like I did actually, Attic, I just did something that I think is going to look pretty cool. I had a bunch of scrap pieces and I was sitting at work and it was kind of slow. So I kind of got this like sacrificial altar kind of thing going on, with some skulls on it and, some old stonework, and it's probably going to have some blood stains and,
So you're just
sounds interesting. We'll talk about this after the show. So
Danny's ready for that date with you.
I was going to say, like, after this, I'm going to hit you up for a date. So.
Those are all like keywords for Danny right there. He's like,
blood
triggers,
skulls.
I'd say though, like on average, like basic timeline for, like a basic build, I probably have 16 to maybe at most 24 hours into a build,
Oh, that's not bad.
I thought you were going to say days.
Yeah, me too.
No.
What the hell?
No,
that's amazing, dude. And it comes out like what we see on your IG?
Yeah, I mean, because like a lot of times it's like, I'll work on something for like an hour and I'll get a bunch of stuff done, and then like maybe I'll get some time, on my day off, and I'll work on it for like 4 hours straight. And then, do another day and another, 3-4 hours. My girlfriend works on it for a couple hours, and next thing you know, it's done. It's so yeah, it's not bad. I mean, if they're bigger and more involved, yeah, obviously it's going to take a little longer. But for some of the stuff, we can knock some stuff out pretty quick.
Josh, can you bring up J.A. Jack's other IG page with all his dial stuff? My computer's gonna die.
Yeah. Give me a sec.
Well, while we're waiting, if anybody in the chat wants to ask Jedi Jack any questions, please do so.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely ask some questions.
While we wait, and while those questions may start to roll in, there's a question I always like to ask, inspired by supporter of our show, Samurai Chris. He asks, or he asked us one time, and I just keep repeating it to every guest that goes on the show. Would you rather be haunted by a ghost? Can be friendly, doesn't have to be, or abducted by aliens?
Is there probing involved with the aliens?
It's always the follow-up question.
You know,
it can be as friendly as you want it to be.
You know, I'm kind of thinking the ghost thing. You know, I'd probably lean a little bit more towards that. And I'd actually kind of like it to be scary. You know, I'd rather have one that just scares the shit out of you every time, you know, to the point where like it's still jumping out and like terrifying you when you get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. But after a while, you're just so pissed off about it. You just look at him just disgusted. Just like, oh, God, what is your problem? You know, where it's like following you around constantly, like in the back of your car, you know, and it's in the back seat and pops into the, you know, the rearview mirror. And you're just like, would you quit? You know, I think that'd be way more fun to just have like just an annoying ghost partner.
Get a new routine.
Yeah, right.
Especially if you use them to like scare other people.
Can you guys see my screen?
I can't.
No?
Unworthy said, what if it's a ghost of an alien?
That's a legitimate question.
What about, can you see it now?
Yeah,
we can see it.
Normal page, but can you go into the JJE toys?
Hold on, let me do something.
Whoa!
Oh, Infinity.
Yeah,
that's the one. Oh, you want to go to the dial one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, while we're waiting, I have one more question. So you've done all these dials, and well, actually, it's really nice to actually see the person behind the work, because I've seen your work. I remember being introduced or even hearing about you through Path to Collector. Like, you did an awesome dial for him, and he put a nice nice comment about you, and you know, I reached out to you right after, and I was like, dude, like, I need some trees. I'm glad you didn't say what kind. So I'm glad that wasn't the answer, but like, you know, you know, and like we were talking about earlier, you were like, hey, what do you want on it? And my answer was, hey, just get creative. And I got a couple of them. They came out fantastic. Like, they're great. So my question for you is, like, what is a dream dial you would like to one day make? Something that you haven't made yet that would be like your ideal. That's going to be the dial, and it's going to take you the longest, but you're gonna be determined. You're gonna do it.
Man, that's a tough question.
This is Toy Talk. We ask the tough questions here.
Yeah, no, that's a good one. It's
hard hitters.
Hard hitters.
You know, it's so tough to answer because, like, when I started doing this, I didn't think I could do any of it. So, like, you know, if you'd asked me, you know, can you do a building face with a fire escape? I would think that would be the greatest thing I could ever do. It, you know, and now I just make them all the time. I think it'd be really cool to do a really large scale something. So like G.I. Joe headquarters, or really huge, cool castle with like inside and outside and different levels, you know, where it's like, you know, almost like the Castle Grayskull style, where it's like the inside and then flip it around and you got different layers and stuff like that. You know, some winding staircases and stuff. I think that would be like a lot of fun. But I don't know if I'll ever do something like that, only because most of the time when I try to design things, I try to think of it is how many different ways can you shoot with it to get a photo, you know? So I try to like keep scale, but also size. You know, how big is this thing going to be? You know, it can make it to scale, but if I make a building, you know, a building size, it's going to take a whole damn bedroom, you know, and that's no fun.
Yeah.
And then I also want to make it in a way that it breaks down to be able to be stored and to be able to ship to somebody. You know, nobody wants to pay for a dial and then like, okay, well, it's like getting a car. It's like, okay, well, shipping's going to be $6,000. So, you know.
Oh man, that's cool.
You know, like, so that one I did for Path, you know, I made it so that almost that whole thing comes apart and just stacks, you know, flat. And it ended up being like, you know, 4 inches high by the time it's, you know, done.
Yeah, your line work
that was
really
a lot of
clean,
fun. Dude. I actually really like that one.
Yeah, that one was really cool.
The line work on all of them are really clean. Clintastic said 1/12 Death Star.
That would be kind of cool. I did. There's one, if you pull up, I did that Death Star hallway for somebody. And
look at that angle.
Wow. Keep going. There it is.
Ooh.
That's nice.
Wow, that is cool.
Is that still foam or is that like 3D printed
No,
pieces?
it's still foam. All foam.
Really?
No 3D printed. That was all foam.
Like even the little light panel.
Yeah,
stuff on the wall.
I carved all that out by hand.
For like a week.
It felt like a week when I was doing it.
Carving it out with like a tiny spoon.
Yeah, it was just like so slow and just meticulous and just trying to take my time and keep everything as clean as I possibly could. And that was another one of the ones where when I had to give it up, I was like, damn it. I was like, I worked really hard on this thing.
What you should do is just double the size. So like if it's a hallway, it's a longer hallway in 2 pieces, and then be like, all right, this part A goes to the customer, part B goes to me.
I just saw that and I just have this perfect idea now, like in my head. So it's like I love seeing these things. That's awesome.
So wait, for stairs like that, is that still foam?
I think those stairs are wood.
Okay.
I made those one out of wood.
I only asked because you said the other walls were made out of foam. So now my brain doesn't really understand science and materials.
Yes. Like it depends. Like if it's going to be something that's like load bearing stuff, I'll usually use, some wood for like the stairs and stuff. It all depends on like how it's, somebody says it's going to be used. Like if they're like, oh no, it's just going to be like display thing. Then I'll be like, all right, well, I'm just going to use foam, cause I can get it out quicker to you.
Oh, so cool, man. Now, where do you get your inspiration for like that? Like what, like when you're going to start a dial, like, do you like, I remember speaking to like, I believe it was another dial person and he said he visited a couple places. Maybe he's outside. He gets ideas from being outside. Do you get that kind of inspiration just doing dials as well?
Yes and no. Like some stuff, sometimes it's like, just like looking up random pictures, man, just like do some things where somebody's like, I want a building, a New York style building. So it's not that I'll look for anything in particular. I just start looking at them, and I just kind of just let my brain collectively, like take in the information. And, so like, and like the same thing with like the fantasy stuff. Like I'll pull up like fantasy artwork, and just look at like the paintings and, like, okay, what kind of shapes are they using? What kind of, what's the overall feel like? And that's what I try to like think of is like, I ask somebody like, okay, what are you using this for? Are you using this for display? You want to do photos with it? And then I try to like, I'll go look, like if it's somebody for photos, like I'll go look at their page and like see how they take photos and like what's the overall like feel for their kind of stuff, and then try to like give them something that feels like their style.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Because nobody wants to have the thing where it's like, yeah, it's cool, but it's not really my thing.
The trees right there. I think what's pretty cool too is that when you say how many shots, how many photos can you take, how many angles you could take in that one dial. And like with the size and breaking it down, like I feel like when you're saying that, you're thinking as a dial maker, but you're also thinking as a toy photographer.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
So you're like putting yourself in that spot where you're like, all right, if I'm a toy photographer and I have this dial, how many angles can I use here? How many photos? How many different pictures I could take around this dial and stuff like that? And that's pretty cool because that's something that when I want to dial. That's what I look for. Like, how much can I utilize this one thing where all my photos are not looking all the same? You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think of. So
most bang for your buck.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I want somebody to like be able to like use this thing like indefinitely. Like if you go back, there's the one warehouse one. It's got the blue and gray. That one I did for Path. He uses that for so many different photos. Like he uses it, he'll angle it certain ways, and it looks like backstage for like his wrestling photos.
Right.
And then he'll set up some other stuff, and it looks like, you know, because like I made it so all those pillars come off the wall, and then they attach together, and you can set them in the middle of the floor to look like, you know, pillars in the middle of the garage. And then he'll do some Punisher shots with it, and he'll use a different angle, and it looks like something else, you know. And that was my thinking. I was like, how can I set this up to have so many different views and ways where it doesn't even look like the same place, even if you use the same angle, you know, 3 different times, it'll still look different.
Now, would it be rude to ask for this specific dio how much?
That was, I think we did like 200.
No, not bad.
That's not bad. That's actually not bad at all.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So here's my thing on pricing. We do this for fun, right?
Okay.
And we already spend like way too much money on toys, you know, than normal human adults should. And
it's all relative, normal.
But my thing is, like, if you got a dio or you're wanting a dio to take photos, you shouldn't have to like drop $600 on a thing that, you know, I just don't see it. Like, I want to make money for my stuff, for my time, but I'm doing it so people can get some enjoyment out of it too.
Right.
You know, I want you to, like, you know, anyway, what I'm saying is I try to price things fairly so everybody still like enjoys it. And I want it to be accessible to people. Like, you know, if there's somebody that's like 16 or 17 years old and like starting to take photos and they're starting their collection and they want to get a dio, and you tell them a dio is like $800, well, that kid's never going to buy a dio from you.
Right.
You know, but if you can sell him one for 40 or 50 bucks, and like all of he keeps collecting and he keeps taking more photos and he keeps better. And, you know, in 2 years down the line, he's like somebody you're like, dude, this guy's freaking phenomenal. You know, I feel like, I don't know. I just feel like that's a better way to just, you know, be a better human being. And you know what I mean? It's like, I want people to enjoy it. And I actually want people to like buy more than one.
Yeah.
You know? I want you to get one and be like, oh, that one was cool. Now I would need one like this, you know?
Well, even if like $200 sounds like a lot to people, if you just do the math, right? I just did 200 divided by 16 hours, let's say. That's 12. That's $12.50.
Yeah.
So your wage, if you were a dio worker, you're like way below minimum wage, and it like comes out looking that great. That's cool.
Yeah. And that's not even talking about cost of materials, you know?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But even that, look at the level of detail you're getting.
That's what I'm saying.
It's not like just a piece of foam with paint just splattered every. No, he's like, look at the rust on that stuff. Like that stuff right there looks so great. Like, now this is my next question. You're going on Instagram, you sold a dial, right? You see a photo, and the dial, one of the dials you're utilizing in the photo is your dial. What is that feeling like for you?
It's awesome. And it's like seeing your kid, you know, score a touchdown or something. You know what I mean? It's like it's so cool to see something you did using somebody else's art. So they're getting to express their thing. It's hard to put into words, man. The funny thing is when I'm scrolling and I see somebody's work and look at something and go, oh man, it's a really cool setup. And then go, wait a minute. That's my time. You know, I made that. You know? Like, there's ones I'll forget about, and you'll see it like part of it in their photo, and like, man, it reminds me of one I did. And then, you know, you start looking at it, and I'll be like, oh, wait a minute, I did make that.
That's cool. So no, I could definitely see a lot of like if anybody's not, like, I'm definitely buying one. I want one because they're like fantastic. Like, again, the level of detail you add to these, and then just the way you talk, and like, it sounds like you really have a passion for doing it. It's not like you're doing it because, and like you said, you're doing it because you want to, like, if somebody wanted to start and you know, start doing toy photography, you know what I'm saying, you want to set them off on the right path, and even set. I mean, this is next level stuff. You know what I'm saying? I've seen past photos with the dial you made them, and his shots are phenomenal. The trees that I have, they're great. They're better than the freaking trees I've made. The ones those are terrible, and I was using those for a while.
Yeah, and even if like somebody's like, hey, I want to start building dios, can you give me some pointers? Hell yeah. I'll show you exactly what I do. There ain't no secrets, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's like if I can learn something from you and you can learn something from me, by all means, man. You know, I'm just making this up as I go anyway. So
do you have I know you're on IG, but do you have like a YouTube channel set up where
nah, man, between just making the dials,
true that. Yeah, true.
and we made all that.
So a lot of the cosplay that I've seen you dressed up as is Daredevil. I don't know if I've seen one that you're not Daredevil. If you weren't going to be Daredevil, who would you create a costume of if you haven't already done so?
I really want to do something with a cape. You know,
Thomas Wayne. I was just thinking that instantly. That would be a really cool cosplay look on
Thomas Wayne would. Yeah, that'd be a good one. You know, it's either that or I might try doing the Moon Knight one. With all the wraps and like that gold armor underneath and stuff.
That'd be cool. That'd be cool.
I've seen some really cool ones. It's probably
you could go simple and just go MacGyver. Get a brown leather jacket.
Good one, yeah.
Go MacGyver.
Or what was the spoof one?
MacGruber.
MacGruber, yeah. Yeah, like my girlfriend, she's got I'm working on another Daredevil one that's going to be like I don't know if you guys are reading like the current run of Daredevil comics. The costume's different, so I'm basing one off of that right now. I'm working on, and we're always like looking at some different things and getting different ideas and things. I might even do like a Witcher costume at some point.
That'd be cool.
You know, with like the big leather shoulder armor and stuff.
Have you ever had anybody like purchase a costume, like a cosplay costume from you?
No, yeah, I haven't even I haven't like kind of put that out there. That's been kind of just like the personal for fun kind of thing. You know, just because I don't have the time, man.
Yeah.
Maybe once I'm retired, I'll have some more time. I can fill up the hours in the day with doing more stuff. I mean, it's the plan. But that's still a few years down the road. So,
or hey, the more and more you push this and like reach out to people, this could be big. This could become the full-time thing.
Yeah. I mean, and if it does, awesome. I mean, there's not a day worked when it's something that you love. So
exactly.
But I mean, if somebody asked me to do something, I'd be like, sure, I'll try. Let's do it. I'll give it a shot. I'm all for just trying anything new and yeah, I mean, I'm down.
Awesome.
I don't know if it'll work or if it'll look good, but we'll give it hell.
All right, we're getting closer to the further along in the show. We've been asking some good questions. Are there any other questions that you may have? We'll start with 88. Do you got any other ones?
No, man. I think having a blast, just like checking out your work and hearing you talk about the process and stuff. It's cool. It's very inspiring. I tried making a couple dios and just like you said, like the time and I don't know where to put them. So I just like stopped. They're all in the garage now.
I just bought a Proxen hot wire cutter to try to cut some foam and straight lines rather than whatever the hell I was doing before with the little like pen one, the hot pen. I'm like, this is
that's tough with that thing, man.
I was like, I feel like an old man with like a shaky like wrist.
You can hold that thing perfectly still, and the line's still just going to be all over the place.
It's character. He's adding character.
For someone like myself that's starting off with dial making, what would be a good piece of advice that you would give?
Take your time. You can have. I'll tell you this. The key to making something really good or look good isn't about the carving or even the idea. It's all in the paint job. You can have the crappiest carved wall, but you put a good paint job on it, it'll look cool. if you can have an awesomely carved, perfectly straight lined bricks and everything else, and you put a shit paint job on it, it's going to look like shit. So if you want it to look good, take your time with the painting, if nothing else, and start thin, start light, and don't be afraid to try colors, and don't be afraid to like experiment and try different things. Don't like just like, I'm going to paint the whole thing red or paint the whole thing gray. Like start with like one color gray and then add in some other color gray and then maybe a little bit of blue and maybe some green and stuff like. And when you start experimenting like that, all of a sudden your brain is subconsciously like picking up all the cues that you're seeing, and you're going to start seeing how things work. And before you know it, you'll be like, oh, this actually looks pretty damn good, you know? Mm-hmm. But you won't get there unless you try. I can't even give you a roadmap. All I can tell you is try it. Just try it. Make mistakes. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, making the mistakes, you know, you're going to learn a lot more from than just doing like one thing going, it's no good. Just try it. If it screws up, paint it black, start again, you know?
Yeah. No, that's really good advice. Yeah. Turn it over. The other side's clean.
Well, with that, as a follow-up question, then I guess would be, what kind of paint are you using on these dios?
A lot of times I'll stick with just the basic dollar store craft paint. Those 50-cent, you know, things. You can do so much with that. All it is like, you know, most of the time this stuff's like thicker, so you just, you know, you thin it out. Use some water and, you know, go thin with your paint. You don't need to buy like Citadel and War Game, you know, paints. Like some of that stuff's really good if you want to use like small details kind of thing. But if you're trying to paint a big dio with a thing of paint that costs $10 for one little thimble full, you're gonna hate yourself, you know.
Exactly.
Go to the store and buy like the big one that's $2 for, you know, one color, and you can get like, you could go to the dollar store or Walmart, spend $5 on like some 5 primary colors, black, white, or blue or red, and mix a bunch of different colors. You buy some empty containers, mix your own colors up, go to town, man. Mm-hmm. And literally just try. Like if you got black and white, you can have 50 shades of gray. Mm-hmm. You know? Mm-hmm. So and try different things. You would make some rocks. Just carve up some rocks, paint in different colors, you know, put some textures on them with some things, and then like see how that turns out, and then try something else, you know, and just go from there. Just try. That's the biggest thing I tell everybody. It's like when you started the toy photography, you know, and you asked me like, how do you do it? I don't know, man. You put the figure there and put some, you know, lights and what happens.
If it's cool, it's cool. If it's not, then
yeah, exactly. It's like, you know, you just keep doing it and experimenting. Like,
right.
That's the best thing you can do is just, I mean, that's what, you know, music's about, and pretty much any art form. It's like, you got to just try some stuff. Just don't be afraid.
Right.
You know, how many times have you like taken a photo that you're just like, I'll post it, but you know, it's kind of shit. And everybody's like, dude, this is the best thing you've ever done.
Oh yeah.
All the time.
The ones that you spend like 10 minutes on get the most likes.
Yeah,
the ones
exactly.
You spend,
like,
all day on.
To post something, I'll just throw this up real quick. Everybody's like, dude, that photo was killer. You know, you're like, that thing's, you know. But if you didn't try to like get out there and just like experiment, you know, and throw it out there, you're never gonna know. So just give it a shot, man.
Follow-up question to that. Rabbit's Den, Marco is asking, that was the answer to the paint, but what about ceilings?
I used to like, so usually what I'll start with anymore is like when I base coat something, I'll use like a Mod Podge and a black paint. And Mod Podge is nice because it has a varnish in it. It's not just straight glue and water. It's got a little bit of a varnish in it. And what that does is like on most of the foam, it helps to harden it. I used to use it top coating and use that as like the top coat sealer, and it does a really good job. Mod Podge is if it's on the top coat, it's real susceptible to humidity, so it'll stay kind of tacky. So, you know, and what ends up happening is like you got two pieces of your dio and you stick them together and they're laying there for a long time. You go to pull them apart and then like some of the paint's going to come off, or you leave a figure on for too long and he's going to be stuck to it. And, you know, I had to learn that the hard way. Like that, you know, and I'm sorry, anybody that I did a dial for and that's happening to you, send it back to me and I'll fix it. You know, I'll hook you up. But now what I do is I start with the base coat of the Mod Podge and black paint, get the foam sealed pretty good, paint over top of that, and then I usually use a matte polyurethane spray over top, just to help seal it and get rid of any kind of like anything that's left that's got a little bit of sheen to it, so you don't have to worry about light bouncing off of it when you're trying to take photos and stuff like that. So that's the biggest thing. Like, and I've seen other guys, you know, there's some people that, you know, use some different stuff. I use I think it's like Minwax brand. It's just like their matte polyurethane spray, and I just lightly spray it. You know, as long as your stuff's painted well, you don't have to worry about the spray eating away at the foam, especially if you spray it vertically. If you lay it down on a table and spray it, yeah, you're going to eat right through it. You're going to destroy your dial. But set your stuff up vertically and spray it that way. So that way because what dissolves your foam when you use spray paints on it is the propellants that push the paint or whatever's in it. So that's the stuff that's in the can. Once it hits your foam, it's going to deteriorate it. But if you spray it vertically, a lot of those propellants are heavier than the paint, so they fall off before they get to your dial itself. And you can help, you know, you can use that on figures, like you do custom figs, same thing.
So you're saying a layer of Mod Podge first, let that dry, then a layer of paint.
Yeah. Like usually what I'll do is I'll mix like black paint with like Mod Podge.
Oh, okay.
And then just go to town all over it. But if like you're going to use like for a different color, maybe you're wanting something brighter and you don't need it, you know, you don't want to like fight the black, you know, you can use something, right, you know, mix it with something else.
Cool.
But what it'll do is it'll help harden that foam, so it's not so soft. You know, it's not so easy to dent after you've already done all your texture, your carving, your whole thing. You just want to like protect that little thing. That'll help to harden it up, and then you can still paint over it real easy.
That's interesting. And you said mix it with water.
You can if you want. You can thin it out with some water, like the paint and the paints too. You can thin out with water. You don't need to use like any fancy thinners and stuff like that. That's ridiculous. It's all, if you're using acrylic paints, it's water based. You know, thin it with water. You know, you can use some alcohol, but be prepared that like if it touches any other thing that you got painted, it's gonna like start wiping that out. So using real blood for blood paint. Yeah, I mean it works.
It's authentic.
It's all about the realism.
Yep. Blood, sweat, and tears into this hobby.
That's a really good tip. I'm gonna definitely use some of that Mod Podge at the beginning. People have told me to use it at the end. Is there any difference? Like after you've painted, then you apply the Mod Podge at the end? Is that how it becomes tacky?
Yeah. It'll seal it great. Like it does like a really great job. The problem is like it's just susceptible to humidity. So if it gets real humid, where like I'm in Florida, so it's always humid. So it just always stays tacky. If you're in like a colder environment, like you're up in Canada and stuff, and it's not going to get real warm, you know, you might be fine. You know, it could be, I don't know, you know, but I've just made the mistake of having it, you know, end up being tacky and like had to like fix a few things and you know, use some different sealants for it. It still works as a great top coat. You could even put it on and then put the polyurethane on top of that. You know, that's another way you could do it that way too. There's guys, there's not like a right way, wrong way. Like I said,
yeah,
again,
fair point.
You might find out like a better way that I haven't even tried. You know, you'd be like, yeah, I painted the whole thing and I dipped it in a bucket of glue and it looks great. And, okay, I mean, if it works, you know.
Just covered it with crazy glue and
yeah. I mean, I you know what? I've seen other people do that. I've seen there was somebody I was watching. Man, what were they? They were making something, and when they got done with it, he just covered it with super glue, completely sealed it. And by the time it was dried, like it didn't look like it was covered, it was just sealed. And I was like, and that thing's like probably indestructible now. You know, I mean, you can probably bounce it off the concrete.
I mean, it was probably toxic for like 3 days, but
well, yeah, but
look at
don't wear a mask so you take a photo.
All right, I think that brings us to the end of the questions. Josh, do you remember all of Chris's questions?
Let's see. Favorite. Okay, we're gonna rapid fire questions.
All right.
So, favorite toy.
Favorite toy. Ooh, Marvel Legends. No, I take that back. My Mafex Spider-Man, the comic paint one.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
That one's really good. What was the other one?
Favorite
if you
toy
had
brand?
to give somebody that didn't collect action figures, what would you give them?
Ooh, a Mythic Legions.
Good choice.
Oh, okay. Which one?
That's a little tougher. Which one on that?
Like I knew you were a Marvel
like
Legends
a really
fan based on your
cool
photos, but
yeah,
Mythic,
it had to be some real cool sculpt, you know. That's
and
a tough
then
one.
saltwater or freshwater?
Saltwater, man.
I think I don't know. Did I get them all?
What makes you feel old? Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, Danny, go.
No, one of you asks is what makes you feel old?
What makes me feel old?
Mm-hmm.
Seeing like the toys come out and everybody like the reissuance of like Transformers and stuff like that, and realizing like I was around when this stuff was new, and you know, and it's fun seeing it all come back, you know. And in my head, I'm like, man, it was just a couple years ago. But then I go, no, that was like close to 50 years ago, you know. So that's when it starts to make me feel old, you know.
Yeah. What makes you feel young?
This stuff, all this, you know, all of this. My beautiful girlfriend, and doing things and seeing other people like get enjoyment and you know, like I said, like seeing somebody get my dios and make artwork, that's awesome. That's you know, because there was a perfect one was like that dungeon one I did for Path.
Yeah.
And the video, the live video he did when he was when he got it and unboxed it, you could just hear the like little kid excitement in his voice as he's like looking at it and playing with it. You know, and that like it almost had me tearing up just like watching the video, because I'm like, I made somebody so happy.
Right.
You know, like hearing that in his voice and, you know, seeing his reaction and stuff, like that's worth more money than, you know.
That's awesome.
Anything.
That's really cool.
Can't put a price on it.
And the very final question, and we definitely did these questions out of order. I can't wait till Chris mentions it tomorrow.
Hey, he shouldn't take days off. It's his fault.
I know, right? What superpower would you have?
I feel somebody asked me this one once before. I think the ability to fly would be pretty damn cool. I mean, I feel like you can get away with like a lot of other stuff if you can fly, because somebody can run really fast, you can get away from them. They're stronger than you can get away from them. You know, you pick somebody up and drop them, you know, from space. You know, you won the fight. You know, I think that's a pretty good one. I mean, there's so many good ones. I think, like somebody else I think said before, like, you know, the teleporting thing I think is underestimated, because like if you can teleport, you know, do the whole Nightcrawler thing and just like disappear when somebody goes to like fight you and reappear behind them and just slam their head into the ground, that'd be pretty awesome.
Always you can tell you have a martial arts background because you have your powers are combat specific.
Yeah.
What'd you say, Josh?
I was saying that power, the movie Jumper.
Yeah.
That would be the power to have.
I always would choose super speed because I would just get a shit ton of things done. It'd be so productive. Imagine having super speed and folding all the laundry within like 10 seconds.
Oh, that'd be so good. You wash your car so fast, and
I mean, you could still run away from people too in case of fights, or you could, as long as they also have super speed, you'd probably win that fight.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think that brings us to the end of the show. Jedi Jack, thank you for coming on to our show, telling us all about your origin story and giving us like a master class in dial making, because I don't think any of us really had much knowledge into this. So we really appreciate every tips and tricks that you've shared.
Well, definitely. I appreciate you guys, and anybody that's got like questions or help or wants to dial any of those things, man, hit me up. I mean, I don't even care if like you're working on something and you're like, hey man, I'm stuck on this. You got any pointers or anything I could try? Ask, man. I'll let you know. I'm not like one of those guys that's like holding all the secrets and like, no, I don't tell you, I don't share my trade secrets. No, that's
gatekeeping.
That's so stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like any questions you got, and like even criticisms. If you're like, hey, you ever think about trying it like this? No, but maybe I will. So anyway, guys, I really appreciate all of you, and I appreciate you guys being out there and doing this far ahead of me and setting the precedent so like, can inspire people like me to try to do this stuff. And, I appreciate it and being so welcoming.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll definitely have to have you back. And even for that, setting the tone for having a YouTube show, I think you do great. You have a wealth of knowledge to listen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, maybe I'll give it a shot. I'll have to think on that one.
You can even do like shorts where you just show them how to make like one tree or something.
All right. I'll put that in the mixer. All right.
One rock, please. That show.
I'll make a rock.
Make a pebble first.
I'll do it in cosplay, and I don't know. I'll figure something.
As Daredevil,
that might be catchy. It might catch on.
Right? Just got a different costume for every video.
Dios.
Yeah.
Blind man makes dioramas.
Just.
You could call it 3D Daredevil Dios.
That's good. All right. Thank you everyone that joined in the chat. We really appreciate it. We love seeing everyone chat it up. We didn't click on as many as we probably should have, but we could see that people are enjoying a side conversation almost. So we really appreciate that. Thank you, Josh, Danny, 88. Thank you for jumping in and filling in for Chris. But this has been Toy Talk. Come back around next Monday at 8:30. I don't know who the guest is, but he's back.
We're back. Hey, you left us. Hey, welcome back.
Hey.
He's gone again.
Wait, did he jump in?
He's in.
Oh, Josh, did you try Adam too? Go ahead, bring him in.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I don't
know. All good. We're just wrapping it up. Again, next Wednesday at 7:30, unboxing art with Cox Crate and Art. 8:45, TPC Top 10 with me, Toy Father, and Nimbo Reviews Everything. There is no TA Black and Wednesday, but there will be one in May.
Well, shout out to if everybody in the chat. Shout out to D Blake Makes. I wanted to give him a shout out. I got my signs from him. I got my Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th signs. If you guys are not following D Blake Makes, go follow him. Go hit him up for a sign. That dude is awesome. We've had him on the show before. So shout out to D Blake Makes, man. He's cool.
Treat your shelf.
Mm-hmm.
And last plug, 88 Figs with Toy Tings. There'll be more episodes coming forward, but he also has a little bit of a library. So go give him a listen. All right. Thank you all. And this has been another episode of Toy Talk.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Peace.